Mindfulness and meditation. In part 1, we discussed time as currency. We established that mindfulness is an important part of time utilization, and one of the best ways to be mindful is through meditation. The transformation process with meditation is gradual. With meditation, the goal is to cease the ego mind from chattering. All thoughts are meant to slowly fade away with patience, which can be frustrating at first, especially if you have a busy mind. But the more you simply ignore the thoughts that occupy your reality, the more the thoughts will ignore you. Eventually they fade away, and all that remains is a state of balance and feeling centered, without stress and without a desire to fix things that you think of as problems in your life. All worries, small or large, will cease to exist for that moment in time that you're truly present. In meditation, as thoughts begin to subside, the layers of the ego unravel, allowing the intangible and undefinable thing that is called you to exist without restraint. When you stop meditating, those layers come back, piling on top of one another, making the mind feel heavy and caged once again. For one who commits him or herself to meditation, a gradual desire to free the mind begins. Life becomes more meaningful by letting go of the things that keep you from being present, happy, and productive.
The more you meditate, the more you'll begin to notice the difference between how you feel when you meditate and how you feel when you live your daily life. While worries and stresses will still make their way into your reality, you'll gradually begin to become more mindful of your negative thoughts. The responsible meditator will come to realize that their negative thoughts and feelings are the main source of what hinders the enjoyment of their life. As we take ownership of our thoughts and emotions, an epiphany of our accountability for the internal condition will manifest. The ego is creating all of our struggles. Whatever stresses and struggles we face in our life are created by a need to uphold our self-image and live up to our ego. There may be more legitimate pressing matters that cause stress in our life, such as severe illness or knowing that a loved one is suffering, but meditation reduces the stress of that experience and gives us the confidence to know that it will pass, and also gives us the mental fortitude to handle the inevitable losses of life.
The choice of being mindful of those thoughts and feelings that weigh you down will be up to you, but your awareness of becoming more perceptive to how your thoughts keep you from feeling centered will be heightened. This is part of what it means to become more in tune with yourself, as many people who carry themselves unhappily through this existence are not in tune with the traits within them that are keeping them from happiness. Once you're in tune with those traits, not just feeling them but objectively observing them, you can more easily process them and let them go. In meditation, the more you practice, the more mindful you'll become of your thoughts and their sources. The point of meditation is to relax the mind, allowing it to be free of thoughts. Through this process, you'll become more aware of how your soul feels in its pure state of harmony with existence, which is only when you're free of thoughts. You'll notice how calm and stress-free you feel when you're in a meditative state of mind. This may induce an altered state of consciousness that is different from your regular conscious mind. As you practice meditation more and more, you'll notice how your thoughts creep in and chip away at your ideal state of being present. You'll notice the difference between how you feel when meditating and how you feel when you aren't meditating. As you become aware of how you feel and how your thoughts distance you from the contentment of the meditative state, you'll gradually make changes in how you think, and you'll learn to be able to let go of all the unnecessary thoughts that distract you from being present.
You evolve through meditation by maintaining presence and centering yourself throughout all situations in life. It's not easy to do all the time, but just being mindful of your ability to do it is a powerful step in the right direction. Our busy modern lives do not allow us to meditate all day long, nor would we want to when there is much to see and experience. So the best we can do is try to be as aware and mindful as possible when we're within our regular functional states of consciousness. Be mindful of the negative self-talk of the neocortex, the thinking part of the brain, and the emotional baggage of the subconscious mind. This can only be done if we take care to process and let go of all of the thoughts and emotions that keep us from being centered. Meditation allows one to understand that the natural state of the mind, without all of the conditioning of the ego, is already balanced and centered. Who we are at the center of any chaos we may have in our life is all we need to feel complete and navigate through this world. As you meditate more consistently, you may experience what is known as an ego death, the process of losing oneself to find oneself. The ego death dismantles everything that is trivial and unimportant in life. Ego death is the experience of a state of being that is free of the attachments used to form the personal identity, free of the filters that interpret your day-to-day experiences. The experience of ego loss gives you a glimpse at how significant and/or insignificant these attachments are, and how they have been affecting your life. Perspective and paradigm shifts are often accompanied with ego loss. Although you may feel inspired to make radical changes, allow your experience to sink in and process before making big decisions in your life.
So how does one enter a meditative state? Although you may not always be in a position to get your blood pumping with physical activity is a great way to take your mind off the immediacy of thoughts that occupy your mind. Your mood will be lifted from the endorphins released, further breaking down any stress and physical tension. Before you meditate, make sure you're wearing loose clothing and that you're in a quiet and comfortable area. Although it should not be depended upon, it may help to put on some relaxing meditation music to put you in the proper state of mind. Many beginning meditators, and even some experienced ones, find it much easier to enter a state of unhindered relaxation by having binaural beats or solfeggio sounds playing in the background.
A good way to ease into meditation is to enter a space of gratitude. Even if you're in a stressful situation, surrounded by stressful thoughts, appreciating what you value and all the good things that are going on in your life can cultivate a sense of calm, acceptance, and balance. Take a few minutes to contemplate how grateful you are for the things such as your health, food, shelter, water, air, things we take for granted that many people in the world don't have access to. I say this because meditation is about removing the trivial distractions of modern living and connecting to the core of who you are, existing from the real, the center. When meditating, let go of expectations. Sometimes your mind may be too active to settle down, and sometimes it may settle down immediately with no effort. Anything can happen, just flow with it, don't fight it. Your mind may resist flowing with your thoughts, instead it will try to silence them. The more you try to silence your thoughts, the more the thoughts will repeat. Trying to do anything is inaction, and you must cease all action in order to fully let go. Rather than trying to silence your mind, become an observer of it. Simply notice the thoughts as they arise and let them be.
You may be tempted to check the time. Let go of that, as that is a moment in which time should stand still. The relevancy of time should have no meaning to you during this period. If you have somewhere to be at a certain time, then set your alarm, but until that alarm sounds, do not look at the clock. Your body may begin to feel restless. You may feel an itch here and there. Physical sensations are some of the most challenging distractions to ignore. A good trick is not to try to resist the physical sensation, but rather sink into the sensation of it. Become fully aware of the itch. The more aware you become of it, the less annoying it becomes, and it soon subsides. This may work for you because the less you resist it, the less of a problem it is for your body. I have even tried this when my foot would get cramps. As it begins to lock up, I would embrace the sensation rather than fight it. To my surprise, it would go away. By melting into the sensation, all becomes one, a singular vibration that is in sync with and is the whole. And on a side note, I'd like to point out that if you get a strong and sustained tingling sensation in your lower limbs, it's possibly because of poor circulation. And if this happens, switch positions to allow blood flow.
Once again, let go of expectations and accept that your mind will wander. Whenever it wanders, bring your focus and attention back to the breath. Your awareness will come in waves. Ride it as long as you can, and if you fall off, bring your attention back to the sensation of breathing and get back on the wave of awareness. Mantras can also be useful to repeat in your mind. A mantra could be anything that brings your awareness to a place of peace and love. It can be anything from a Vedic mantra or simply the name of a loved one. A mantra that I use is I am. which in its full meaning is, I am one with the totality of all that is. Therefore, I am this totality. Although one should not fixate on this when meditating, one should be intimately aware of the following to allow a deeper space of contemplation to take place. While meditating, dissolve yourself into pure awareness, a fundamental consciousness that is beyond label and forms. Your own timelessness will become self-evident for you if you let go of appearances, concepts, and definitions that relate to you and anything outside of you, which ultimately are all illusions. As you dive deeper into the depths of your consciousness, leave behind the ideas of how to be perfect or ideal. They don't serve who you are. Don't bind yourself to any intention. Don't bind yourself to time. Don't anticipate the future or contemplate the past. You are this moment. Detach from all stress, worry, and fear, and your timeless, ever-present being will reveal itself more clearly.
Know that you are the light of awareness itself, and once you realize this, you'll shine through the dark parts of your being. Your thoughts and memories are not you, yet they cannot exist without you, the one who houses them. They cannot define you because they only exist in the past or the future, never the present. Don't identify with any construct of what you think should be in your life and accept the grid point of where you are in your life. It will be difficult for the mind to accept this until you understand that you're merely the witness of the mind, rather than the passenger of it. Things that define you, such as names and roles, don't stick to you. They're only a temporary garment. Ultimately, on the grand scale of the cosmos, you truly have no possessions other than the unique fingerprint-like perspective of your awareness. When you begin to know yourself on a deeper level, you then trust and allow your thoughts, emotions, and actions to spring from this understanding of your truth. By living from the truth of who you are, you can be the one who is eternally free, happy, and whole. Give this some thought and bring your awareness back to who you thought you were. Is it not more clear that you're not your name, your address, or your occupation? That those things are just a temporary mask, an act in the illusion of what seems real? The Vedas call this illusion Maya. Understand that you've always been around, and you always will be. The spark of you is the same spark of everyone around you. Some know it, and some feel it. Some are disconnected from it, but ultimately it is there within us, whether we acknowledge it or not.
While connecting to the infinite is crucial, grounding is important as well. We each came into this particular time to experience the physical world of form for a reason. So take care not to get so lost in the blissful feeling of cosmic connection that you lose track of this earthly experience, or even more detrimental, begin to despise it and start to become addicted to the escape. Some people become so disillusioned with the experience of life on earth that they begin to try to exist only in the meditative ether, as they feel a peace there that they do not find in everyday life. This is the challenge, though, to learn how to bring that peace and awareness into everyday life. Through the flesh, many of us keep searching for something that will bring out the feeling of being alive. But the spirit of our subconscious can assure us that deep down inside, we already know who we are and what it feels to be alive. Do not disconnect from this harmony by getting distracted by the illusions of your accepted reality. This is the great illusion, the karmic split between what you do and what happens to you. So let go of fears and desires. These things separate you from the totality. We are all rays from one center. Embrace the light.
This concludes part 2 on mindfulness and meditation. Below is a free guided meditation that we have put together to help you with your awareness practice. You can click the link below to stream or download it. Try to consistently meditate at least 5 minutes a day. Consistency will enable you to embrace the following: peacefulness.
You will gradually reduce stressful thoughts that disconnect you from the present moment.
Awareness.
Be here now. Live fully in the present moment, and the quality of your experience will improve as the distractions of fear and worry dissolve.
Intuition.
This is not to be misunderstood as superhuman psychic abilities. You will simply be more in tune and receptive to subtle and clear sources of input in your environment.
Freedom.
Remove the shackles of the ego, all things that hold you back and create karma.
Relaxation.
The release of stress will create an environment for well-being and wholeness.
Energy.
Although opposite from a relaxed state, you'll have more energy to expand on the things that matter instead of wasting energy on things that drain, such as unmanaged thoughts, emotions, which ultimately affect our actions.
Creativity.
Removing blockages within ourselves allows space for the new and inspiring ideas to grow and flourish.
This concludes part 2 of our presentation. Feel free to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel.